So hello and welcome to the Millennial Investing Channel, a channel for all young investors out there who want to start trying to use their savings to start working towards a more certain financial future. Something which is probably becoming increasingly important in today's society, where uncertainty seems to be piling up on young people with diminishing pensions and student loan debt and unemployment. So I think it's time we start fighting back and trying to take hold of our money and our wealth. That is the purpose of this channel. Today's video is going to be a review of the Trading 212 app, which I've been using now for 3 months. It's a video to try and show you my thoughts on what I think is good and what I think is bad, what could potentially be improved by the app, and hopefully you'll learn something from it. So, without any further ado, let's dive in. So let's start with some negatives or some drawbacks. So the first thing is the limited share price history that is sometimes shown or not shown on the app. So you can see the majority of stocks, you've got a full share price history going back, this for an example, to 2011, which is great. That is not always the case. So as an example here, let's look at Tritax Big Box REIT. So the share price information on this one only goes back to October last year, which may lead you to believe that it's only IPO'd within the last year, or probably that, but it's not always the case. If you were to look at the share price on Google, you'll see that it has been trading for a much longer period, and it gives you a much better overview of the stock's history and performance over a longer period of time, which can only help in your decision-making process when analysing a stock. So just be careful if the full share price history isn't there, that you do check to make sure that there is some longer history to it when making your decisions. So that's number one. Number two drawback is there is no weekly or monthly performance on your money. So you can see on my chart here, my max performance 18.3% up, which is great, but that does not change when I click through. So yes, an overall performance is great, but it would be nice to have a daily, weekly, monthly, and maybe a time value of money against a weighted value of money as well. More of a minor point, but hey, it would be nice. That probably alongside some greater analysis on your portfolio. So the sort of limitation of the analysis at the moment is this section at the bottom. So if you click in here, it does show you the total value of investments, how they're split, what percentages they're split into, albeit there is no analysis on what sectors your investments fall into, so how they're split across different sectors or geographies, which would be useful just to make sure you've got a good diverse portfolio mix. I think there is an update coming out, and I have seen some communication on it on various communication groups on Trading 212, that there is going to be an update which does incorporate a pie chart to do something similar, and maybe an auto invest feature. So fingers crossed that does happen. I think that would be a really good addition to the app, and I will do a video on that if and when it does come out. So number three is regarding the ETFs on the app. So I hold three. I hold the FTSE 100, my all-world high dividend, and the emerging markets ETFs. Unlike the rest of the apps, these don't have the detailed information that others do on financials, such as what holdings there are, what its distribution are, yield, where it's weighted, all that sort of stuff. So you do have to go in this case, it's a nice dividend been paid there. You do have to go onto the Vanguard website to look at all of these individually, which is easily done, but make sure you do that and you don't just see one and think, oh yeah, I'll go for that, because the information is not there on the app. So they're the three main drawbacks. If I now turn to positives, and I do think there are more positives, The first one is probably the biggest, and that is no transaction charges. So I have made trades, over the last few years, and I have used other platforms whereby they do charge. This is just a fantastic, free share transaction, whether you're buying or selling, is a game changer, and it's opened the opportunity for more people to get into buying and selling shares without that worry of spending money when you don't really know what you're doing. I know Hargreaves Lansdown, for example, probably the most popular brokerage historically. I think they charge about £11 for each transaction. So if you're only selling and buying small quantities, that soon racks up and just makes it not worthwhile at all. So that is number one. So that leads me on very nicely to the next big advantage of the app, which is the fractional shares. Now, historically, if you wanted to buy a share, you would have to buy a whole share in that company, which might not sound like a problem, but some of the biggest companies and most popular companies in the world, the likes of Amazon, have a share price of nearly $2,500. So if you wanted to buy a share or take a position in Amazon, you would have to buy at least a whole share. That is now not the case, which is a game changer, especially for smaller retail investors who are maybe starting out, have a small portfolio and want to take a position in these companies, albeit a smaller one like myself. So, portfolio filled with some of the biggest companies in the world, which historically I would not have been able to do. There is a feature on here which I'll show you where you can include a fractional shares indicator, which shows you which shares are available for fractional purchase. The majority are. There are some that aren't. If you switch that on, then you'll see that LLF appears, which shows which ones are and which ones aren't. So as you can see, the majority are. Illumina doesn't. It's a couple, but the vast majority do, which is great. So that is a huge win, huge advantage for smaller investors. Number two is just its ease of navigation, ease of use. It's so easy to use. You can flick between your watch lists, your portfolio, your search menu. When you're buying, it's clicking in buy, how many shares. It just is so easy to use, so user friendly, so intuitive. And again, it's the reason it's going to appeal to probably a much wider market than some of the traditional brokers, and will start to really take market share from those guys. Number three now we're on, so is the depth of financial information on all non-ETF stocks is fantastic. So you go in here and you've got all these headings up here. So the growth evaluations, margin, financial strength. You go down, you've got the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow, all at your fingertips. You do usually have 3 years of information. You can toggle between annual and quarterly, which is fantastic. It would be good if they maybe had another year or two on here, but I appreciate there's probably some limitations to what they can fit on there. 3 years is plenty good enough for me. And it is, makes it so easy to use and so easy to analyse. So that just about rounds up my 3 pros and 3 cons for the Trading 212 app. In summary, I really like the app. I love it. I think it's great. I'll be using it for the foreseeable future. Hopefully they make some improvements which or provide some updates which improves the app further. That would be great. And hopefully they gain a lot more subscribers and a lot more users, and the app can grow and go from strength to strength. It's going to be a good thing. So that is my review. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it useful. Please like and subscribe to help this new channel. If you found it interesting, or if you're just a really nice person, that would be great and very much appreciated. Hopefully see you on the next one.